Hello to the team at Epic Hardwood Floors. My name is Jeff Bradley, and I work with businesses to get their websites ranked higher on Google search. And I wanted to make you this quick video to show you a couple of really simple things you can do to your website that will greatly improve your Google ranking and multiply your monthly revenue. And I'm going to show you some key numbers and metrics from inside your top 3 competitors' websites to show you why they are currently outranking you and what needs to be done for you to close that gap so you can beat them in the rankings. So first, I checked your ranking and I used the search words flooring companies, Tacoma, Washington, and I could not find you anywhere in the listings. Now, according to Google, 92% of people that search on Google never look past page 1. So wherever you happen to be landing here in the back pages, it really doesn't matter because all of your future customers are here on page 1. This is where all the action is. So when you take a look on page 1, the first thing you see at the top are the ads. Now, according to Google studies, 70% of people disregard the ads. They have a psychological bias against ads. The question in their mind is, well, if a company is truly legitimate and an authority in their niche and have a satisfied customer base, why would they need to buy ads to get onto page 1? So I don't know how valid that is, but that is the thinking. So let's just disregard the ads. And by the way, for what they charge for these ads, it's really not a good investment. You're not only 30% of people are even clicking on them, and then it's not a good return on investment. So let's go down to the second thing that we see on page 1, and that's the map section. Now, the map section is designed primarily for businesses that have a brick and mortar actual physical location that people need to drive to. And as I look on your website, it doesn't appear that you are a store. So, and again, only 12% of people ever click on the maps. Reason being, for your particular niche, that's a small percentage of the flooring businesses that actually have a store. So let's bypass that. And by the way, it's good to be up here anyway, and we can get you ranked here. But that's primarily what the map section is for. Businesses that have a physical brick and mortar location. People want to see on the map how to drive to your location. So the next thing we see is the directories. There's Yelp and Home Advisor, and there's just tons and tons of expertise. Angie's List, Houzz. So we're going to bypass those as well. It's a very small percentage of people that actually end up clicking on these as well. I think people want to naturally see a business that organically is ranking legitimately on number 1 due to their own satisfied customer base and their authority in the niche, and it's just another psychological aspect that's very interesting. Helps us to know what to target. And of course the target is to be on page 1 organically. So let's take a look at your top 3 competitors that are ranking on page 1. And before we do that, I want to point out to you that there is a format that Google likes to see in your Google listing. Now, the very first thing Google looks at when ranking a website is your title tag. And these blue lines of text are all title tags. Now, the title tag tells Google what it is that you want to rank for, and it's also telling Google that these are the very keywords or search words that you want people to use to find you with. Now, the format that Google wants to see for a title tag has 3 components to it. Component number 1 is your niche, and in this case is flooring store and flooring store. The second component is your location, Tacoma. The third component is your business name. So this is a perfect title tag: flooring store, Tacoma, Washington, great floors. And this one probably has the correct format, but as you can see, it's too many keywords, and it extends off and you get a ... so you don't get to see the rest of the title tag. So it's not serving them very well to have that. However, they are on page 1, so we'll dig more deeply into that in a minute. So anyway, if we were able to find your Google listing in one of the back pages, we would see that you also have a blue title tag. And to find out what yours is, let's go back to your website. I'm going to open up this scanning tool, and your title tag is Epic Hardwood Floors LLC. Now the problem right off the bat that I see is that nobody searching for your services would ever even know to type in your business name into their search. Nobody would type in Epic Hardwood Floors LLC. So let me show you how critically important it is to get this title tag correct. If I copy yours, and we're going to go to a new tab, I'm going to paste your title tag into the search bar. Click paste and go. Watch what happens. Boom, in my new search, you come up number 1 on page 1 of my new search when somebody is using these very keywords for their search. But again, nobody searching for your services would ever even know to use any of these search words. They would probably start off with one of these search words, hardwood flooring, flooring companies, etc., which are very high traffic volume keywords right now, by the way. So this is how critically important it is to get the correct title tag with the keyword you want to rank for. And what I would recommend for your title tag is actually flooring companies dash Tacoma, which is, this is your Tacoma listing, dash Epic Hardwood Floors. So that would be your title tag. And flooring companies is a very high traffic volume keyword right now. So that would be my recommendation for your title tag. Now, this ties in directly with the second issue that I want to point out to you. Once we've got the title tag correct, the second thing Google looks at when trying to rank you is your H1. Now, the H1 needs to match exactly what you have in your title tag. And the H1 is a line of text that's usually in your header, your banner somewhere. And we come down and we find out that your H1 is epichardwoodfloors.com. It's a pretty close match to your title tag, which is good. That's the way it's supposed to be. However, you have, again, no one searching for your services would ever even know to type in your business's name. So again, it's the same problem. And another problem is that you have two H1s. And anytime you have more than one H1, it just confuses Google. So Google is confused about that. And then, of course, no one would ever know to type in these search words in their search. So Google is confused about what you want to rank for. And consequently, Google doesn't know who to direct to you in a search. And when that happens, Google kind of just red flags your website and at the very least prevents you from rising in the rankings. So these simple fixes alone, the title tag and the H1, would have a huge impact on your Google ranking, because they would begin to create a crystal clear channel of communication between your website and Google's algorithm. So once Google is clear on what you want to rank for, the next thing that Google looks at is your backlink profile. Now, backlinks are when an outside website links to yours. And whenever that happens, part of that website's ranking power gets transferred to your website. And if you have a lot of high quality, high ranking websites that have a lot of ranking power, if you get a lot of those linking to your website, you're going to get a lot of their ranking power transferred to your website. So this is the primary ranking factor that Google looks at to measure the quality and the authority and the trust of your website. And we can use this backlink metric to measure your site in comparison to your competitors' websites, to find out where you stand in comparison to their sites, by the way, your website, your competitors are the ones grabbing all of the new business, the ones on page 1. So the backlink profile gives us a good idea of where you stand in comparison to them. And it allows us to see what needs to be done to close the gap between you and them, and what it will take to overtake them and pass them in the rankings. So let's take a look. I've got another scanning tool, and we want to take a look at what your current backlink profile is. So right now you currently have 6 backlinks, and they are coming from 2 different outside websites. And we see what the outside websites are, who they are, hardwoodflooringmag.com and topratedlocal.com. So, and we see that when it says do follow, that means that ranking power from these websites is being transferred to your site. So 67% of these 6 backlinks are transferring ranking power to you. So add all this together, it gives you a overall ranking power or ranking score of 0, and this is a 0 to 100 scale. So as you can see, there's some work that needs to be done, and in comparison, let's take a look at the backlink profile of your top 3 competitors. Now on page 1 we have Abby Carpet, which is a store, and I know that they're not a direct competitor in terms of being a store with a physical location, but they do occupy a spot on page 1, so we need to look at their backlink profile. And we see that they currently have 808 backlinks. Now this is surprising that only 16% of their backlinks are transferring any kind of ranking power to them. And these 808 backlinks are coming from 75 different sources. So that means each source is linking a lot. There should be more referring websites than that. And Google sees that low ranking power from the backlinks and a low number of backlink referral websites, giving them an overall ranking power of 28. Now that's not very high. I was very surprised to see that. And it's getting them to page 1, which means that there's not that big of a gap between you at 0 and Abby Carpet at 28. So it gives you an idea where you stand. Now let's take it one step further. We're going to go to your second competitor on page 1, which is floortrader.com or floortradertacoma.com. They've got 4,537 backlinks, but it's all of these backlinks are only coming from 137 sources. So that seems very strange. There's the number of referring sites should be in the thousands to have this many backlinks. And for there to be such a few number of them, that's very strange looking. And we can tell that is raising red flags to Google, because their overall ranking power on a score from 0 to 100 is only 34. And with this many backlinks, their score should be up in the 60s or 70s. So again, there's something strange going on. We'd have to do a deep dive to find out what's going on. But again, this is not very far away from you. You're at 0. Abby Carpet's Tacoma is 28. And Floor Trader Tacoma is only at 34. That's not that big of a gap, and that is a very doable thing to close that gap. Now let's take it one step further. Competitor number 3 on page 1 is greatfloors.com. And they only have 26 backlinks, referred by 11 different outside websites, for an overall ranking of 9 on a score from 0 to 100. So these are your top 3 competitors, and these are not that impressive of backlink profiles. They're very, very within your means to catch up with them and pass them. And what we would have to do is do a deep dive and to find out, because there are over 200 ranking factors that Google looks at, and they all kind of work together. We could find out exactly why, with such low ranking profiles, that they're on page 1. But this places these top 3 competitors well within your reach to catch up with and overtake. So anyway, I wanted to give you just an idea of where you stand. So this is a very doable thing that we could create a campaign to allow you to overtake these competitors. And once you're on page 1, of course, it multiplies times 10 at least the number of people who will see you in their searches, and the number of people who are going to call you. It's going to increase by 10, a factor of 10 at least, the number of phone calls you're going to get. So there are many other factors that Google looks at, like I mentioned, but this just gives you a brief overview of where you stand. If you'd like to know more about all of this and some of those other ranking factors too, I'd be happy to answer all your questions. This is what I do. I get businesses ranked onto page 1 of Google and ultimately into those top 3 spots, which will automatically triple or quadruple your monthly revenue, because that is how powerful it is to be on page 1 of Google. So just reply back and let me know. I look forward to talking with you. And sorry for the length of this video. We're at 16 minutes. I wanted it to take about 5 minutes, but obviously I went way over time. So I appreciate your patience with that. So reply back and let me know. We could have a quick conversation about this stuff. And I look forward to talking with you, and I hope you're having a great day. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye now.